All right, welcome to Hoosier Trapper Outdoors, episode 3. On this episode, we have Jim Reiser, and it's kind of an interesting story. He was one of those people that always hunted and turkey hunts, deer hunts, and he just noticed just an incredible population of coyotes on his deer hunting lease. And he knew that they were definitely affecting his fawns in the spring and certainly his turkeys. So he decided that he was going to trap coyotes, and he was not. His perspective was not for fur trapping; it was just predator control for his deer and turkey population. Anyways, he ordered our coyote trapping kit with all the equipment, including our DVD. Watched the DVD, Coyote Trapping: Making Sense of It All, which basically goes through all the equipment in the kit. And went out, and he didn't start until the first part of December, and ended up taking a total of 13 coyotes off of just one farm. Jim is a pro staffer for Midwest Whitetail, and he actually put this show together of his coyote trapping. So we're gonna use his show this week for episode 3, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey, this is Jim Reiser from Midwest Whitetail, and coyotes have been a terrible problem for a lot of us this year. With the drought conditions and the easy winters, coyotes have been pretty prolific. I had an entire family on my farm. I ran into a nice gentleman named Charles Mashik, and he has a Hoosier trapper supply, and he has supplied me with tons and tons of information on some traps, and for a couple $100 you can get started on trapping. I've never trapped before, but I'm following all the directions. Right now I'm melting some wax here on the stove. And this is paraffin wax, so remember that this can have a flash point, so you got to keep an eye on it. I'm boiling some wax off of a couple of traps I've already done, and then I'm going to take you through the process of boiling, dyeing, setting up, and getting ready to trap. Okay, this is trap dye, so I'm going to put the trap dye into the bucket right now. I've got this boiling, and once we get the trap dye in, then we can drop traps in. This is a trap that's already been pre-rusted. You want to have some rust on it so that they get the dye and that they absorb the dye. So the rust is a good thing, and then we'll speed them up and get them really beautiful and slick and crisp when we wax them. Alright, now you want to boil them for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Okay, so after we're all finished boiling them, I hang them up, let them dry, and then I go ahead and dip them in wax. When I dip them in the wax, I want to leave them in there for about 10 to 15 seconds so that the steel itself gets the same temperature. It'll make the wax strip off easier, and you'll have a nice thin coat. That seals in the scent. It also makes the traps crisp and snap nice and well, and also keeps them from getting weathered while they're out in the soil. They're exposed to some pretty harsh elements. You want to leave these traps out for a while. So now we're going to go set them up. Okay, this is the area where the coyote was, and she's right by a trail camera, so we'll take a look at those trail cam pictures. But you can see she definitely tried to get away. Don't know what time she got caught, but we'll find that out later on. I'm actually going to dig my next trap not very far from that trap. I'm actually going to probably put it right behind that little tuft of grass right there. That way, all the scent from the coyote will still be here, and we'll be able to get a nice second shot at another coyote. So I'm going to start setting her up. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is dig a pit, a hole. It's called a dirt hole. This is called a dirt hole set. So I've got some lure, I've got some bait, I've got some coyote urine, and I have the way to put it in there. You want to have a good strong back behind it because you don't want the coyotes to come along this side. That was my mistake on my very first hole. You also want to wear some nitrile gloves. I work in a hospital, so I have access to them. So the first thing we're going to do is dig out a little bowl, and I'll actually use this to cover up the hole behind me that coyote was just in. So it's actually a real nice surprise to get in here and see that dog. Been in here for about a week and a half. Actually, just a week. This has been about a week. I want to keep some of this dirt out of here because I'm actually going to use it to to line the bed. Now you want to put a dirt hole in about 45 degrees. And you just take this and dig out a hole. This is where you're going to put the bait. This is what keeps the coyote at the set. And Charlie likes to dig them deep, and I figure if I followed the directions that Charlie gave right from the get-go, and they worked, I'll keep doing it. Okay, now we gotta go get the trap. Okay, I'm actually gonna use one of the traps that I did this morning. Okay, looks pretty good there. Now to set the trap, you just set down on it, pull the dog back, set the trap back. I've already prepared these this morning, so I'm pretty happy with the way these are. Now this is actually a stake that you actually can leave them in there. They're disposable. A lot of people used to use rebar. Charlie said, try these, you're gonna love them. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and connect it, and then I'm going to pound it in just a little further. You'll see why here in just a second. Now I can set it. Set pretty good. Put a little bit of the dirt back in here. In the wintertime you can put some salt in here to keep it from freezing, but if you wax them good, you don't need salt. Have the trip of the trap about 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock, so to speak, relative to the trap. And then you want to have the dirt around it nice and bedded so it's real solid. They can flip them, and you want it to be as solid as you can make it. Now the next thing you want to add are one of these little fiberglass covers, and you actually just want to put it over the trap because you're going to use some dirt to cover the trap with. So you put the cover on, and I'm going to go ahead and start kind of putting some dirt back in here around the edge. We want it to look like it's been dug up, and we'll go ahead and put some bait in. This is the thing that will get the coyote to play with the trap, and this is the thing that gets them to come around and stay around. Just put it inside. Okay, next I'm going to put some dirt around the top of this. I have some dirt that I've dried out. I'm going to put through the sifter, and we're going to sift it right onto the dirt pile here, trap. Okay, now we're going to put some coyote urine around the backing, and then I'm going to put a lure around. And then we're done. And that is a finished dirt hole trap.
I got a couple of bridger traps this morning. They're actually a little bit smaller. They're 3/4 traps and they're offsets. So they're good for the small paws of the fox, but they'll still hang on to a coyote. And again, the purpose to this set is to be very visual. So we're going to pan out the traps right here, in these two areas right here, and then put the hay up, and again, from pretty much every angle, something can see this pile. This will not have been here before, so it'll be sweet to see what happens tomorrow morning. We're supposed to get some ice tomorrow afternoon. It's about 30 degrees right now, so we're going to give it a roll. Well, it's the day after I set those hay sets up, and there is a nice ice storm that is showing itself. Probably within the next hour we ought to be seeing something with it. I spoke with Aaron Warburton yesterday. He says they got it pretty good over in Iowa, so we're supposed to start with ice, and then it's going to turn into rain, and then it's going to get warm, so anything's going to start moving in these traps, so I'm glad I've got them all set up. I'm going to go take a look at that hay set right now. And the thing that's been great about trapping so far this year is that I have gotten lots and lots of more turkey sign at this time of the year than I typically do. So cleaning out those coyotes and egg eaters has been a real coup for me. I think I've gotten 6 possums as well as the 3 coyotes. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed to see if we got a fox in a trap today. And that hay set's specific to the fox, but of course coyotes will step in it as well. So anywhere there's hay, there's mice, and anywhere there's mice, there's going to be mice eaters. So we're going to take a look at those, get home, and get to some music writing. Glad you're with us, and if you're out there learning how to trap, it's not hard. It just takes time, discipline. Make sure you know your trapping regs for your state. We have to check ours every day, and quite frankly, I would do it anyway because I don't like to see anything suffering any longer than it needs to. February 2nd, and we're heading out to check traps this morning. Got some snow last night. Between that weather change and the snow, haven't seen much in the easement traps yet. We've gotten a couple possums out of the easements, but I'm real hopeful to see some coyotes or at least a fox. So that's where we're headed right now. This is a dirt hole trap for fox, and I'll zip over to the other trap. Both of these have had skunk lure put on them, and wanted to at least brush off all the snow so it would look really nice. As far as freshly dug, you can actually still smell the skunk, which is great, which is what we want, and can't do much about our own footprints, but that's okay. We'll just get on out of here. Okay, we got coyote tracks. Let's see where this dog takes us. Okay, so he followed deer tracks, but we'll go on up here. So this will be she's a decent female, but she's got a heck of a nice coat on her. So we'll keep that and we'll skin her and be grateful. Actually, when we came in, I heard some noise over by some other traps that I had up yonder, and it was turkeys. So the turkeys are definitely coming back through here. There was a huge flock, probably about 30 turkeys. And I'm gonna go ahead and reset this trap right here. It's bedded well, it sits well. All I gotta do is I'll probably add some hay area stuff and some straw, and then we're gonna keep this trap right here. It was nice because we had a west wind last night, so I went ahead and put skunk lure, long distance lure, right here. Took it all the way out that way. My neighbor said he's been hearing coyotes over on the other side there, a couple miles away, so they usually make a trek through here. We've got all the traps reset, re-cleaned, re-sprung. Everything's ready for the next batch. I'm gonna gather up most of the scat here and drop it along a couple of other traps. Okay, in a trap that just got a dog in it, I don't have to do a whole lot of anything. I went ahead and added some more hay to give it some stack. But as far as the scent from the coyote itself, it's a female. It's getting ready to be breeding season, so there'll be males that'll be following her around. We'll leave everything pretty much intact. I'm going to add just a little bit more beaver castor and some more of the bait, and just touch of skunk lure because that's what probably brought her in. And it's pretty sweet to see all those tracks and watch them lead right to a trap. That's what trapping season's all about to me, man. It's like Christmas every day. Oh, it's because I was doing it indoors for work. Sorry. Traps, and we'll keep them scent free. And then I'm going to set 2 more traps up down at the finger where I actually killed my giant buck. And put it down. Yeah, this farm's awesome. We're going to, like I said, have fun with deer in certain ways to come in. We'll carve out those 2 new ones. They're actually old traps. Right there. Where? Right there. Where? Right down here. Yep. Hey! 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 Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and tear down a couple of traps. I brought the pole with me in case we had a fox. Fox are out of season right now. And so if we had a fox in the trap, we wanna let them go. These are offset traps. They don't hurt the animal. Obviously there's gonna be some pain, but there's not gonna be a ton the way that the footholds work. And we'll show you how that works. But we're gonna tear down the sets in here because these were set primarily for fox. And I'm gonna tear these 2 sets down and then we're gonna take them over to the field. So here we go. Okay, right here, you can see how the foothold trap works. If we were to let this dog out, he'd have a bit of an injury, but it would heal pretty quickly. So obviously we're not in the market for releasing coyotes right now. But I'm probably going to go ahead. Looks like, oh, a rabbit got caught. A rabbit got caught in one of the other traps. Or no, it looks like a, well, let's see. These are what's left of a possum. I set this out, it's a hay bale trap, and what it was, we're gonna reset it because I think this will be a great place to set it. Yeah, you can see the possum right here. Looks like the coyote came in and was attracted to something alive. So, boy, you can't beat that. I mean, that is absolutely the best way you can go. I'm stunned. Likely what happened is this possum came in and decided to have this hay bale set, and we're going to reset this here. We're just going to set it exactly right here. And looks like it got caught with both hands, and this coyote came in and absolutely ripped it up. Now the good news is I had another trap set right next to it, and he obviously got into that trap. So we're going to leave all this here. We'll likely put this out here. We don't want to attract raptors. It's illegal, obviously, to trap raptors, and I really don't want to accidentally get one. So what we're going to do is get rid of this carcass and then reset this hay bale. All of the coyotes' scent will stay in here, and that's great because it'll attract other males. Right now it's mating season, so all these male coyotes are going to be sniffing around and seeing who's in on their territory. There's a den probably about 7,500 yards down that way, and that's where I had all those trail cam pictures of those pups last year. But wow, this coyote definitely did some work on this before he got caught. So it's one of those situations where you got lucky, and even luckier that we got to have it for you on Midwest Whitetail. Glad you're watching the coyote episode. Sweet. Oh, sweet. So a few rules that I followed when it came to setting traps is to keep them along the edges of the fields. This field actually has a couple too many traps, but the bottom line is that some of these that weren't active have now just become active. The coyotes are on the move right now. It's breeding season, so I want to maximize exposure. They tend to stick around the brushes, so that's important to have areas that they can see, have that dirt hole, have that backing so that the coyote has one way in, and you want to have that trap right where that way is. Well, this is the result of another great day in the coyote woods. Trapped another one tonight, and you know, I'm not kidding when I say I'm a first-time trapper. This is my first season ever trapping. It's not hard to do, and if I can do it, you certainly can. Just a little bit of an investment in some traps and some supplies, a little bit of time, and you can get some coyotes as well.